I have to end on sports because I know you love sports.
Yes.
I know you were at Notre Dame when Joe Montana was there. I know you've been at Stanford across a number of interesting athletes. Who's your favorite athlete of all time?
Of
and
all
why?
time,
Yeah.
of all time, yeah. Well, can I have two?
Two. Take two. Take two.
My favorite athlete,
Yes.
where I think, oh my goodness, Dr. J.
Me too.
Julius Erving.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
think Julius Erving transformed basketball. I love Magic Johnson, I love Michael Jordan, but when I think who turned basketball into the sport that it is today, Julius Erving, because he was so tremendously talented and gifted, and he made it exciting. He made it fun to watch, and so Julius Erving has always been one of my absolute favorites. And then I have to say Johnny Unitas.
Johnny U.
Johnny U.
Now, why is that for someone who grew up in Baltimore and Denver? I'm trying to place why.
Yeah. Well, I grew up in Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Yeah. Well, Birmingham had no teams, right?
Right.
And so I was actually a Cleveland Browns fan.
As was I. Were you a Jim Brown fan?
I was a Jim Brown fan. I was a
Okay.
Paul Brown fan.
Okay.
I tore up the Browns poster when they fired Paul Brown. I
Okay.
was really,
Okay.
I was really a Browns fan. But Johnny Unitas, partly because my father, I loved sports through my father, so we would watch football together. And I remember my father saying, "Now you watch Johnny U." He said, Ray Berry, remember,
Yeah, sure.
and Jimmy Orr, his wide receivers.
Yeah.
He said, "Now watch what's going to happen. If one of those guys drops a ball, they're going to come back and United's not going to even look at him." And I thought, wow, is he ever cool? But Johnny Unitas was the modern day, or the precursor to Peyton Manning. And Peyton Manning is also one of my great favorites. A quarterback who controls what's going on at the line of scrimmage. These days, though, I'm still a Cleveland Browns fan, but I'll tell you something. Andrew Luck could make me into a Colts fan.
Is that right?
Well, he's a Stanford guy. I know him really, really well, and watching those young Colts reminds me a little bit of the.
I will tell
Unitas.
you what. It has been impressive to watch Stanford because Stanford has been at the heart of so many interesting, not
Yes.
only sports moments, but cultural moments.
Yes.
You take Richard Sherman,
Yes.
who's been at the heart of one.
Right.
You take Jonathan Martin,
Yes, that's right.
who's been at the heart of
Right,
another
right.
one. It is absolutely, take Jason Collins,
Yes.
who's at the heart of yet another one.
And I think that in all of those cases, you're talking about people who took an opportunity. For instance, Richard Sherman, who I know quite well, and Richard's always been confident.
That's a good way to say it.
Yeah, he's
Wait,
always
did
been
you
confident.
know him on campus when
I
Harbaugh
sure did.
was putting him to the side?
I knew Richard when he was on campus, and he's very polite. He would always come up and thank me for coming to the games and so forth. And Jason, I recruited Jason when he was thinking of coming to Stanford. These are quality people. And the nice thing is it's on both sides, men and women. Shanae Ogwumike, just the first WNBA pick, and my advisee since she was a sophomore,
Is that
international
right?
relations major.
Do you know her older sister who also was a distinguished
NECA,
player?
absolutely. So I love college athletics, and it faces a lot of challenges. But done right, what it does is it allows these young people to develop their skills and their talents as athletes and to get a great education. And what a wonderful combination.
It's delicious and fun to watch, and I'm hoping you'll institute a really interesting playoff of some sort as part of the commission.
I'm excited to be on the playoff committee, and that's a great committee. It's got some wonderful people on it. And we're working hard. We've already met several times to talk about criteria, and what we want to try to do is to instill a sense of confidence that the process is a fair one, even if you don't agree with the outcome, because there are going to be people who, number 5, number 6 aren't going to agree with the outcome. But that at least people know that a group of people took it very, very seriously, worked really, really hard to produce the best outcome we possibly could.